The podcast you're about to listen to is so powerful, but most people are going to miss it because of the internet challenges. There's some breaks in communication because of the internet, but I couldn't really edit it out. I just felt this was so good that you gotta focus a little bit more to listen to something like this. So, if you have the ability to focus, then listen to this podcast, and if not, only listen when you can focus, because this is an absolute jewel.
Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is L.A. Williams, and I am here on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, man. And we are in season 2, and I'm super excited to bring some of the guests that we're bringing this season, man. We want to have this whole entire thing be power packed, right? So, listen, we always talk about it's the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners, right? So you don't just want to hear from the salespeople, man. We want to hear from some of the top folks, right? So this week, or actually, I guess I can't even say that the way we're doing it. But this time when you listen, you're going to be listening to a general manager, right? This gentleman is, we still exploring the West Coast, right? And he, man, has really been doing his thing, retired, left out of the military, and got tricked in the car sales. So I can't wait to hear that story. He's going to tell us a little bit about that, man. But without further ado, I want everybody to give it up for my main man, Mr. James P. Steele. What's up, James?
What up, LA? How we doing?
I'm super excited. Like I said, man, heart of steel. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Man of steel, heart of steel.
Absolutely. That's what you need to be successful in this business, man. You can't be soft, trying to win in this business. This is not a faint of heart business, Yep. So, wow, man. So let us know. How did you even get involved in the automotive industry? Kind of tell people a little bit about your background and how you got started.
Yeah, well, I got tricked. I got brought into it. A buddy of mine was in it. Calls me up and says, "You got to come up and try this car selling thing." He said, "You can come up here. You can make lots of money." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, "Okay. You do know I've been retired for a couple of years. I ain't really looking." Like, "Oh, no. You got it. You'll love it. You'll love it." And started 2 days later, and was taken under the wing of 2 of the mentors that I have still to this day, and just fell in love with it as soon as I did it.
Wow, that's beautiful. So how old were you at this point in time in life?
Oh God, let's see, man, you gotta make me tell my age. Shoot. I was 30, 35, 30. Well, when I started playing around with it, it was 34, 35.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, so many people think, people get involved in this thing at, 20, 21, 22 years old, stuff like that in their 20s. But there are people who you can get involved. This is a business of, listen, it doesn't matter where you come from, right? And so you could have been living your life doing whatever it is that you were doing, but you could be 30, 35, 40 years old, get in this business and still be successful. So I just kind of wanted to, kind of lay that out there.
Yeah, so, it's true, man. I've got, I still have at times, I'll see people come in that have been in the game for 40 years, mm-hmm. And they still love it. They still have just as much adulation and joy out of selling cars as they did 40 years ago.
Yeah, man. Lovely. So when you got started, how many cars did you sell? Kind of break that down to us. And what was that kickoff? I heard you say you got mentors, so I definitely want to learn more about that.
Yeah, so, I started selling cars, just like the progression. I was working for a Chevy store at that time. And we were a small little Chevy store, but a tight-knit group. So I had the advantage of learning from the GM and the GSM, which would later become 2 of my mentors that virtually I chased them around. I'm a 35-year-old man stalking grown men.
That's a good thing. Right?
I stayed on their tails. I asked questions. I sat in on meetings. And all these things, and it just kind of came to light as the more I was involved I looked at it and said, I got to get there.
Mm.
So between I had a lot of salespeople on the floor that was helping me when I started out. And, you start averaging 10, then you do 12, and then you start getting to 20, and then you partner up and you and your partner do 45, 50 cars.
Mm.
So, it was that kind of a store. And
Wow.
that's what made me fall in love with it even more.
Nice. So talk about that, because you rarely hear people mention about partnering up and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with that thought process.
Well, it's you see it a lot in the stores out here. You get a partner. You want somebody that works and has got as much drive as you do, man. I mean, you got to have. You can't go out and choose the one that's laying up on the side of the sidewalk smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
That guy that's out there hustling and doing the same you're doing. And once you establish a relationship like that, my partner would go out, up them, get them on a car, bring them in, transition them over to me, and then he'd go back out and grab another one.
Mm.
And by the time he would get done with that, I would have this one through finance. Hello, TO, gone. So, and that relationship works really well if you have two people that are driven. It's twice as much. And people go, I don't want to split a deal. Shit. Well, half a deal is better than no deal.
Hell yeah.
And you get your ass out there and you work it. And the harder and longer you work, the more it prospers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything else. This is about how you do everything.
Yeah, and then that way you can focus on your strengths, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had my flaws and my strengths, and he had his flaws and strengths. He knew who he could or could not deal with certain types of customers. I had the same thing. My strong point was on the desk. Bring them in, negotiation, Foursquare, close, and get them into finance. So, and then of course you get old country boy, that's me, so we swap out and I go outside.
Nice.
So for me, a great relationship. It was far better for me than I think them, because it taught me far more than I could ever imagine.
Wow. Yeah. And that's always what you're looking for. You'd be surprised. I'm sure if we spoke to them, they would say the same thing. You're always looking for a win-win situation, right? A win-win relationship. Like if I'm bringing something to the table, you have no idea, what that could have done for them. I love Kevin Hart's story, the comedian from Philadelphia. He talks about, riding up to New York with his mentor, Mr. Keith Robinson. Right. And so he said, man, the whole thing was he used to like berate him with all types of insults and things like that, just, kind of toughening them up for the industry. And they would do comedy things. And he said, but man, I had no idea what was going on in his life at the time. And later on, he said, man, it was therapeutic for me to get to work with you and mentor you. Right. So again, we don't know the benefits that we have over other people. I know it happens for me a lot. People are like LA, I get so much, this happened, that happened, this happened. And it's usually from something simple, maybe one video that they saw of me doing something or one sentence that I uttered to them. The difference it makes in people's lives, man, is absolutely amazing. And so that's one of the big reasons why we want to do this podcast. So here's what I want to talk about, because I love that you said, you was a grown man chasing around other grown men. Right now, again, the way it's said, like it's got some comedy to it, but it also has like some people might feel embarrassed, like I'm not doing that, right? But what made you want to even what was the thing that made you say, you know what, this is what I should do, and what got you to set your pride aside from feeling some type of way with doing something like that?
Once I started working directly with the GM and the GSM, first started every day, it was 3 hours upstairs in the room on the whiteboard every day for like a month straight. In seeing that and being taught that and being from a military background, it's a structure that you like, and it's what you want. And then when I say a mentor, they weren't always easy. My first big sale was like a 10 or 12 pay on a Mercedes. And guy calls up and he says, hey, this thing's drifting to the left. And my GSM says, all right, take your ass in the car, take it to Mercedes, and don't come back till it's fixed. I sat down at Mercedes for 4 days, was not allowed to come back. that was the most valuable lesson I've ever taught. So when you're out there and you sell the car, you have to be there after the sale. You can't be afraid to pick the phone. You can't be afraid to address the issues. And that customer today, as a matter of fact, grandkids come to me for cars.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, that's beautiful. Phenomenal story. And even with the breakups and things like that, audience, y'all need to really glean from that lesson, because it's a huge deal. And so many people are worried about the here and now and the instant gratification and things like that, but they don't want to put the work in, to actually sustain. It's called sustainability. That's one reason why Ali Rader talks about, why he can sell, 32 cars in a day, right? A whole bunch of cars in a week, 200 cars in a month. He can do that because of his sustainability, being around, right? But you can't get that if every single time, in your first 5 years, 10 years of being in the business, however long you're going to be in your first year in the business, if you're just kind of, just looking for the short thing, like, you're not putting any real effort into it. I mean, this is just how success works, period. So it's just awesome to hear it over and over and over in so many different capacities, so many different lessons, so many different stories. So it sounds like what you said is, they gave a damn, right? That's really what it was about. That's what made you want to follow them, is because they gave a damn. So many times, we got managers that's like, oh my gosh, how come people won't follow me? But it's because you don't give a damn. You don't really care about them and, their success and things like that. You're not pouring into them. You're not doing the tough stuff that it takes in order to get somebody to win. So
yeah, I mean, if you're as a manager, as a GM, a GSM, if you're not training somebody to take your place, then you don't need to be training. That's just the bottom line. You need to be training. I want black belt ninja assassin.
Yes.
I don't want no shit backfire with a bro chasing me down my ass. I want nothing but hard ass people working for me.
Yes, absolutely. Men of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna make a whole we're gonna come up with a whole training company, man. It's gonna be crazy. I love it. So all right, so let's talk about the financial side of it, because I believe that, again, like I said, I don't think that you were retiring from the military with scraping pennies together. So talk about what that meant for you to kind of get involved in the automotive industry, and what did it do for you financially?
Well, I saw it immediately, and this was before we all hit the low in 2008. I saw immediately that hey, this is a good source of income, and I like I started going, I can make more and more, but the difference is it became not for the money. I started to fall in love with what I do. So, there wasn't a day I'd wake up and go, oh, shit, I got to go to work. Every morning I woke up, man, I'd get dressed, I'd be happy. And the same as this morning, I get home last night and I tell my wife, hey, I got to be at work at 6. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I got to be, I'm going to be talking to LA, and I can't do it during the day because I'm going to have 25,000 people calling and coming in. Mm-hmm. And, I got up this morning just as happy as I was 16 years ago or 13 years ago.
Wow.
And I look forward to it. This is the only business day is truly a different experience.
Every day is a different experience.
Every day. You impact more lives in what the words that you say and the actions that people see you do carry a far greater impact than what you can barely really comprehend. Wow. And you have to be mindful of at all times.
That's deep. I love that, man. And I'll talk about it all the time. I say, we can't approach this business like it's business as usual, like a normal day and things like that, because our customers, it's not a normal day for them. They buy a car once every 3, 5, 7, 9 years, right? And so we got to, again, it should be special. We got to make sure it's special. And we can't, create a special experience for someone if to us it's mundane.
Right.
That's just not happening.
Yeah, no, it's not, man. I mean, it's the deal is next to getting married, buying a house, most people almost have a damn nervous breakdown buying a car.
Exactly.
So, you want to make it as enjoyable and as fun as you can and lighten it up.
Wow, you just gave me a premonition right there, because you're absolutely right. It's like buying a house, like getting married, right? That type of stuff doesn't happen. It's not supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so they make that so special. But for us, it's just like, okay, take the keys, bye. Like, it's ridiculous how we discount it.
It is, man. I mean, I just about 3 nights ago, I had a young lady in there signing papers, and every piece of paper she'd have to take a deep breath. And I'm like,
right.
And finally, I said, you know what, let's just stop for a second. I said, what kind of music you like? She like, whatever she liked at that time, some country, something. And I said, oh, that's right up my alley. So I played the music. I went and got her some water. We sat here and talked about the kids and talked about, work for about 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, she said, you know what, I'm ready. And
nice.
I said, that's good. That's what I want. I want you to be relaxed and enjoy this.
Yes.
So
100%, man. That's beautiful stuff. All right, cool. So you were doing your thing, doing the whole partnership thing, and then somehow you get into this internet department. And again, let's talk about this, because again, I believe, and I'm just going to allow the age to play a part in this, right? Because, even with Sean, he's, they are like, okay, let's see what you could do, kid, with this internet department, right? But you're a grown man, again, and they put you in the internet department. Can you talk a little bit about that and, what that process was like for you, going from where you were selling cars to getting into the internet, what year was this? You said it was like around 2011?
Yeah, 2000. Well, 2000, I started getting into the internet closer to probably 2008, 2009.
Okay.
For a Chevy dealership. And, this is the first time my GM walks up and hands me a BlackBerry and says, here, you're the internet.
He just threw you in.
Just threw me in and said, here, we need to figure out something about this online stuff.
Wow.
And I'm like, holy shit balls. All right, so let me start looking. So I started looking. I started doing.
Wait, but see how you just accepted it. See, so many people would have pushed back. No, not me. Why I gotta be me? Why such and such can't do that? See, man, I'm telling you, that's character right there. That's what I'm talking about. Keep talking to me. He said, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, you take every challenge. Failure is not failure. Failure is a lesson towards success. And if and so I attacked it viciously. And then 2009, 2010, the internet, Craigslist, everything came around. I started doing that. I got really good at that. And then I got recruited for another dealership to do Craigslist and internet and digital. Then the next thing I know, I got recruited to another one. Same thing. And then all of a sudden, I was covering the desk part-time. Then they made me a recon manager. So now by this time, I've worked every step from a sales guy up. Now I get to learn about recon. And it was with another great owner that just took me and taught me everything about what it takes to sell a car from that standpoint of recon.
Now, mind you, folks, we're talking to a general manager, right? So one of the aspects of being general manager, and we hear about this with, kids that come up in the business, right? They like, oh, I worked every aspect of the business, right? Well, so many people get stuck in what they're doing. It's like, oh, I sell cars. I don't do service. I sell cars. I don't do that internet stuff. I'm an up guy. I sell cars.
I hate that shit, man.
Or I'm an internet.
I hate when it boils my blood, brother, when somebody, we got a salesperson that says, it's not my job to move those cars.
Ooh.
Look here, it's your job to go out and pick up the trash. It's your job to take the trash out, mop the floors, sell the cars. Whatever we need to do as a team and a family, that's what we do. And if you're not in that mindset, I don't need you.
Absolutely. Right. Because this is our own business. This is not, come process some work. You see what I'm saying? This is not just, this has got to be a win-win. This is a team game. Man, I'm telling you.
It is, man. I mean, like I said, it just boils me out, man. I had a guy that worked for me for a short time, I might add, that, I'd say, hey, move, I'm out there moving the damn cars. You're asked to get out there and move them. I'm not sitting here barking out commands. Yesterday, 2 days ago, it snowed out here. I'm out there throwing salt with everybody else.
Yep. It's
a family. It's a team, but you're building a family and a culture.
Yes.
Culture is what makes the difference.
So love it. Loving it. So what are obviously, they weren't just recruiting you just because you was, you look good, right?
Oh, hell no. If he was doing that, I wouldn't have had a job.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't doing it because you was cute. It was because you were successful. So how, was it your department making money? Did you sell a certain amount of units? Like, what was it that was making them seek you out and want to recruit you from dealer to dealer?
My prowess. Being digitally aware. I mean, Google, I started learning Google in 2007. I saw the light, I saw what was coming. So I hunkered down and made myself learn digital. And because I knew that was the way it was eventually going to go. The day of the newspaper, the radio, the TV is nothing compared to what the same amount of money can do on digital.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing that. And the more I did that, then I learned how to build my own ads. Then I bought Adobe and got all carried away. And all of a sudden everybody's, can you come make me a card? Can you make me this? Can you do that? So I still, friends and people that I've worked for still call me and I help them out on ads. So that's just what we do. We're all a family at the end of the day.
Nice. I love it.
Competition doesn't scare me. We're all going to sell the same cars, but what I'm going to give you is the culture and experience.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've done that, then I don't have to worry about who's coming back, who's not.
Right. Absolutely. Man, this is really good stuff. So tell us a little bit about this, because you are really giving us some keys when you talk about culture and you're talking about family. I really think I hear that's like the theme, of what our conversation is. So what are the keys? How do you take that and turn it into financial success? So the keys to making money in the automotive industry. So if you got a family, you got a good culture, how does that turn into results, the bottom line, that gross income?
Right. So the first thing you do when you have a family, you don't get all bent out of shape if somebody's 5 minutes late, or if somebody's got to drop their kid off, or something comes up and they have to leave in the middle of the day. This is life. And we have a stressful enough job as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But performance-based is performance-based, and that's what we expect. But as a team and a culture and a family, we help each other. And the more that I know you, the more that you know me, you can tell when you walk in the door, man, something's up with James.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? That's what I want. I want to be able to know when something happened with one of my family, one of my team members, mm-hmm. so I can address it and help them.
Yes, absolutely.
So, it's about knowing the people, and that way you don't get the guy that works at a dealership and switches every month. Just curtails through 5-6 dealerships a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he hasn't found a family, or he hasn't found a desk or a GM or GSM that told him, hey, you need to slow your ass down and absorb what you're doing.
Right. It's a bunch of foster kids and that type of stuff. Everybody's all over the place, right?
You hear the same shit. I don't want any retreads. Well, it's your damn fault they ended up a retread.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Stop them. I don't care if you got to glue it or tack it onto them and get them to stay. Sit them down.
100%, man. That's it. And so listen, because you're going to have people who listen to this and, or people who, because the folks listen, this is the Millionaire Car Salesman and listeners. So we know that they kind of understand and they get this stuff, but as they, try to disseminate the information to their teammates, right? Kind of tell me, how do they turn it in? How do they make it performance based, but yet at the same time, it's still got that family feel to it?
Performance based is knowing and recognizing. So if one of my guys is with a customer, and that whole thing of showing them 3 cars and turn them, that doesn't exist anymore. You got to be able to feel the customer, understand, and you got to know when to tap out.
Right.
And you have to do it the right way. You can't just go, hey, I got an idea, the old way. Hey, I got an idea, I'll be right back. And all of a sudden somebody else shows up.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way anymore. So the culture that you build promotes, the happier you are, the better you'll do your job, the more money you'll make. And I guarantee it. The happier you are, the more money you'll make. That's just success. It works. If you're coming to work, you're already a step behind everybody else.
Mm.
You
Man,
got to
that's
come
good
in,
stuff.
enjoy what you're doing. If you don't truly enjoy what you're doing, car sales ain't for you. If you're under every month and you're not feeling it, car sales ain't for you. Step out.
It's cut and
Take a
dry.
break.
Really simple.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But how we turn that into a atmosphere of making money is constant training, constantly training. Every day, something different. I got a whiteboard in my break room that has nothing but positive quotes on it.
Mm.
And that's the only thing allowed to be written on it. Nobody else gets to put anything else on it. Anybody can write on it, but it's got to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
So every day, you got to, you more or less, you got to come in and do your prayers. And you guys, pray to the car gods. Go out there and throw your pennies in the parking lot, whatever the hell you want to do. But at the end of the day, you got to come in here and enjoy what you do and do what you do and have fun with it, man. This is a fucking adventure. I love this job.
I'm loving it, man. I'm telling you, I'm loving it. So I'm hearing so many powerful things that you're saying. You're like, man, I got this whiteboard here, and it doesn't just have quotes on it to have quotes on it. They're there to train your mind, right? So right. Everything that you're doing, like you said, is training and it's performance based. So talk about the person that's like, oh my gosh, I got so much going on. I don't have time to train. What do you say to somebody like that?
I tell them, well, you have to be able to train them without them knowing you're training. If you bring it and you bring it it's being a teacher and a mentor is knowing who you're teaching and how to bring it to them. And some people respond with a pat on the back. Some people respond with a kick in the ass.
Ooh.
You got to know which one you're dealing with so you can bring it in and they accept what you're doing. Make it their idea. Make them realize the potential they have. I know my potential. I'm trying to get you to see your potential. I want you to see what you are capable of. I want you to see that in 10 years, I don't plan on being in one of these damn seats. You better be in it.
Right.
So that's what we do. We're trying to show people and work with salespeople, sales managers. Right now, on the sales desk, you get a lot. Everywhere you look, they're constantly changing sales desk people, constantly. And it's a rotation. And that, to me, is because there's not enough training for the managers.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to train the managers to do what you do every day. If I fall out, I hope, if I fall out, LA, you got to step up and do my job.
Mm-hmm.
I might go down. So business doesn't stop because one falls out.
You are speaking the language of what we're dealing with right now. Here at Dealer Synergy, but I love it because, for me, I was promoted to vice president less than a year ago. I just got ownership in the company. And so,
congratulations.
I appreciate that, man. But see, here's the thing. So you're always trying to figure stuff out and, you read constantly and you get the coaching and things like that, but it's not, I'm always looking for stuff, but I learn more, I think, doing these podcasts than any of the other training that I do, or maybe it's at least on the same level, because what you just said to me is to train your people, like you said, without them knowing you train them. I just train them during regular conversation, right? Yeah. We could just be talking about something and I'm training you. I'm showing you how they should be thinking, how they should be acting, what they should be doing. Just our entire interaction is training, but it's not inauthentic training. It's because I genuinely care about these people. I want them to win. And so everything that I'm thinking is about, okay, how can this person improve? How can this person get better? Not because I want them to be an asset to me and make me money and all that. It's because I want them to be better as an individual. And then as they're better as an individual, they ultimately end up helping the company.
Yeah, that's the end goal. 100%, 110%.
Wow.
Every word you speak, every action you take, every reaction you have should have the end goal of making sure the next person gets there. If you're truly a trainer and you don't have to be a damn trainer. If you truly care about somebody,
that's what it is.
The best they can, then put out what you want to get back.
Okay. Awesome stuff. So let's really address this, because sometimes it's like, okay, let's be just direct about it. What are some of the biggest mistakes you watch people make in the dealership, and you're like, oh no, this has got to stop? What's some of the number one things you see?
Oh, the first thing I see is, people coming out the gate looking good, smelling good, doing good, and 7 days later they just fizzle out. First thing. The second thing I see is, you still got the smokers huddle. You still got the little, my mentors always said, stay out of the huddle.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go near the huddle. Those are the old guys sitting there mad at you. They're going to poison your mind. So I see with a lot of people now, they allow one person or one action or reaction in their head too easy. In this day of digital awareness, we all, I'm watching Facebook. I'm watching you guys all the time. I watch a lot of different things. I read a lot. What happens is it's dummied down our toughness. So we get all butthurt because we can stand behind a keyboard and type anything we want. But when you address something comes in and it's a real issue, then you don't know how to act or react. And the biggest mistake I see is one of them. Someone will sell a car and then they don't even want to call them back. Don't even want to talk to them. They just want to be done. Let me handle.
You didn't build a real relationship, I don't believe. You can't,
Yeah, you're not. It's it's the same reason CarMax pays everybody by the hour. So, if you don't want to learn, take your ass over there and work by the hour and get your little bonus.
Right.
This is a process driven expertise. And it's what I've said from day one, been ingrained from my mentor, was how you do one thing is how you do everything.
I say it all the time.
If you're a slob at work, then I know I don't want to go to your house. I don't want you, you show up, you can't even comb your hair, or you look like you just rolled out of a gunny sack, all wrinkled up and shit. I know you look that way every time.
Yeah.
I don't want you standing in front of my customers. I'm going to work with you, but I'm going to tell you, you can't come to work looking like a dirtbag. You got to take your ass home and get dressed.
Yeah. And it's because I care. It's because I care.
I ain't trying to call you out in front of anybody.
Right.
That's another thing. If I call you out, it's because I'm going to teach you. Because if I have to call out, then I every other avenue. Now I have to come at you directly. So, that's what sometimes you got to do, man. It's hard, but sometimes you got to do that.
Right. So I like everything that you said, but I really want to drill down on that first one where you said, people get started, they all excited, and then 7 days later, it's down the drain, right? They say some people can stay excited for a day, some people can stay excited for a week, a month, a year, right? But man, it takes a winner to stay excited forever, right? Yeah. You can never not be excited. So what causes that, and what are some things that people can do to, watch out if that's them?
Well, you got sewer. You always have sewage in the dealership. There's always somebody running around that sewers everybody out. You got a young man that starts out, he's selling cars, he's doing good. He goes over and talks to one of the other guys that might be selling 20 cars a month. Well, he's not gonna, if he's not supporting him, he's gonna sewer him out. He's gonna start telling him all the bad shit about the car business while he's selling 20, 25 cars. And so now this young guy or this older guy like me is sitting there and going, well, shit, why do I want to keep doing this then?
Yeah. And it's like they don't think, because why would you, why are you doing it then? You know what I'm saying? Some people don't think of that question.
Well, because you're focused on trying to sell, and you're absorbing all this, the teachings and everything else around you, and you're like, man, and then all of a sudden somebody walks up and says, oh man, you ain't gonna like it. And then you're gonna hit that rookie slump, that third month's bad. Everybody in the car business heard that shit. Yeah. You hit that third month, you're gonna do really good for 2 months. Well, that's like saying, hey, on the third month, I'm gonna shoot you.
Right. Exactly.
I'm gonna put you out of your misery because you're only good for 60 days.
Man, I'm telling you, we got. I mean, that's just a mindset of people. There's no, the win-win mindset, the support mindset. And we come from a deep, dark place, right? Let's talk, just years and years ago of how human beings, worked with each other. There was no togetherness, right? And so,
Right.
man, we definitely got to get that going. So, man, I'm telling you giving us some really, really, really powerful stuff. So. Before we go, I do want to kind of understand what are the habits of the most successful people in the dealership. What if you could point out, okay, all of my successful people, they definitely do this thing. So that way our millionaire car salesman listeners, if they're not doing it, they can make sure they're doing it. If they, lost sight of it, they can bring it back to the top, to the forefront.
Oh, the first habit's dress for work. The first habit is wake up every morning, go do, if you're working out, if you do other stuff, go do it, get dressed. And when you cross the curb, be work mindset. Come in, sit down, and take the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes and read your articles, read stuff. Catch up and start getting into your work day. So get into a habit of settling yourself before you get going.
Yeah.
And you build yourself up from there. Some people like to wake up and watch podcasts for the first 2 hours every morning. And some people like to get up and read a book. Some people like to come into work when nobody's here and just sit here and be able to think.
And talk to LA for an hour.
And talk to LA for an hour at 6:30 in the morning.
I love it, man. Absolutely. And that's beautiful. And one thing we talk about is turning your car into a university, right? And so, if you got a 30-minute trip to work, don't listen to music. Don't do that. Man, turn it into a university where you could actually learn some stuff, put your mind at ease. And that way, when you get to work, man, it's time to rock and roll. We do something with all of our coordinators. We call it the 3-minute book, right? We say, just take 3 minutes to focus on you. Goodness gracious. If you can't have that, if your, dealer can't offer you that, man, I don't think they deserve your, your time. Like, it's like, goodness gracious.
Yeah. I mean, it's so true. I mean, from a very long time ago, I had been a Grant Cardone fan. And, we got Sean's, different people. I got all kinds of people, and I would get in the car. I'd have the CD back then, and you're just loading CDs in and listening to them. I mean, I pulled off, and now I have my phone and I'm listening. And if it's a live broadcast, I've actually pulled off the damn road and watched it, and just took that little bit of time to absorb whoever was talking, because, it's when you get online, you start talking to people and you're doing a video. When you're excited, it gets me excited. When you're just coming out the gate, just jumping up and down and screaming, I'm happy. Shit, I want to know what the hell he's talking about. How did he get so happy?
Yeah.
So. But
so many times we allow the ones who don't get attracted to that excitement to, control us. I know for me, I'm like, man, it's tough to stay excited, right? It's the easy thing is to just be down in the dumps and all that different type of stuff. And then what happens is when you're excited and people are like, why are you so excited? Right. And then we allow those people like those are the ones that we want to, coach and everything like that. And for real, I mean, we want them to win, but if they're not excited and they're not, fired up about winning, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? All I can do is be me and attract the ones that want to win. So, hey, either you're going to be on the winning side or you're not. It is what it is.
That's the truth.
Right. So let's close this thing out, man, because you got such knowledge, man. I'm telling you, you've been really blessing us with a lot of good stuff. My question is, are there any books that you read in order to kind of get some of this stuff in your system to begin with? I heard you say about quotes and things like that. Talk to the people about, a certain book that you might read.
Well, right now I'm reading, I'm listening to it. I just started listening to it. It's a Zen book. It kind of gives you some settling phrases and things. I read, I'm not a one book reader. Okay. I jump from book to book to book.
Got it. Ty Lopez talks about that.
Yeah, at any given time, I'll have 10 digital things open because I might hear an excerpt from someone and I want to go see the preface. I want to see if I want to listen to that. So most of my stuff is is all going to be focused on leadership and leadership traits, and anything with leadership that teaches you to deal with people, because all we are is psychologists.
Right.
That's all we are. We take care of people. We're there. We're the mom, dad. We're the disciplinarian. One hand we love them, and the other hand we spank. So any book that I can read that can give me more of that knowledge and make me understand myself even more, then I can transfer that to you.
Beautiful. That's beautiful stuff. And so I'll just kind of throw mine in here because I'm learning about, telling better stories. And in reading that book, I came across, Ryan Carr. He has a book called Lead, Sell, or Get Out the Way. And I'm like, yeah. I didn't read the book yet, but I just saw the title and got excited. I did a whole video on it. So that'll be the podcast, book recommendation for this episode.
That's a good one. That reminds me of the Little Red Books of Selling.
Mm.
Those, that's old school. That's back in the day.
I know, right? I don't even know if we got that in digital print yet.
Right. The thing is everything about selling is the same. The process never changes. What changes is us. Mm. That's the big thing, man. And so when we're process driven and how we do one thing, how we do everything, then we have fun with it. And that's what develops the culture in the family.
Awesome. So kind of close out this thing. Tell us what you love. I heard you mention it earlier, but tell us what you absolutely love about the automotive industry and give folks a closing statement that they can go out and win with right now.
I absolutely love helping people. It's helping customers, especially. It puts a smile on my face. I have a service shop and sales. So anything that we're going to do to help people. If I'm going to tell you, I want you to always be far greater of a person to keep your ears open, mouth shut, but also know when to open your mouth and shut your ears. Mm. So you take that and go out into the world. A lot of people, my wife reminded me the other day, she says, would you shut up and let them talk? Yeah, it was a time for me to shut my mouth and open my ears. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest thing I'm gonna tell you is be process driven, know when to listen, and then know when to speak up. And you'll learn more. And don't carry any shame about it. Chase the manager around, chase the sales desk, chase the finance person until you learn or you get in a situation where you can be taught.
That is absolutely beautiful. I love that. He said, close your mouth and open your ears sometimes. And then there's also times you got to know when to close your ears and open your mouth, right? So, mm-hmm. man, listen, if y'all didn't get nothing out of that, I don't know what to tell you, right? This has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm so excited. I'm so, thankful to you. Like I said, getting up early, man, and just to offer us your guidance and your wisdom. This has been absolutely phenomenal. So, listeners, man, I hope you got a tremendous amount out of it. I think at this point in time, listen, I always say it, and I said it on the last episode's podcast, but I'm really feeling it today. So I'm just going to lay it out there. You are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with, and you've just been spending time with L.A. Williams, the blindfold master, and Mr. James P. Steele, Men of Steel. And so now it's your time to go out there and be a millionaire car salesman. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like it, you love it, you want more of it, then don't wait for the next money show. Just go to bradleyondemand.com and take your career to the next level.
Bam, that was tight.
That was good. I liked it.
That was phenomenal, man. I really do appreciate it, man. It's again, I'm looking for themes and things like that, and your theme of family and culture is absolutely phenomenal. People need to get that, and it helped me out tremendously because it just makes me feel more, it gets that validation that I'm on the right track, because that's exactly where I'm going.
I mean, it's like, I hired a green pea. When I walked in, I fired everybody except 2 people. And I hired a green pea. And I told him, look, I'm going to put you on minimum wage until I can teach you everything that I know. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, when can I start getting commission? And I said, I'll give you a commission if you want. But if you don't make it, you're going to make minimum wage and I'm going to fire you.
Right.
I said, so you choose. So He's been on minimum wage. This is 2.5 months now, and he's absorbing everything. I've got him in the Millionaire Car Salesman Club. I got him everything that you guys do. I got him chasing and watching and tagging.